Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. You also were on Bradley Martin recently, and I know he asked you a question about like what are the biggest red flags, that you look out for in women. You said women who have a promiscuous past, and you also said that dating women who've been with a lot of partners has not fared well for you. Like, why, from your perspective, was that such a red flag that has held you back with these girls?
Well, based on the fact that I'll ask these girls how many people you've been with, and they're actually quite honest when they say 1,000 plus, and I'm like, really, like really,
plus.
like
That's
1,000.
crazy.
That's crazy.
I have friends that are porn stars, and I've never heard 1,000. That's
1,000.
crazy, bro. Yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
without being a porn star.
That's crazy.
Now, mind you, they
Jesus.
were a stripper. So when you hear numbers like that, or it's in the hundreds, and you're trying to have a relationship with these people, they clearly have an avoidance, anxious attachment style, which is the hardest girl to date. As
Right.
soon as you get close, it feels like it's going to be something good. But I mean, these girls are exciting. They look amazing. Like these are like the super hot looking girls. And you're like, why would you sleep with all these guys? Like, how could you let a man just use you for that? Well, I needed to be validated. Why? Like, why didn't you just get the compliment and move on? I don't know. I just need validation. But this is the problem when you have sugar daddy, daddy issues, or when you've been like traumatized when you're a child. That leads into these things. But these are exciting women. They're fun. And I mean, what am I going to say? I like girls that are really hot. So what am I supposed to do about this? So you like them at first, but then you find out what's going on. Then they pull back. They're nice to you one day. Then for 2 days, they don't text you. And I'm like, okay, I got to move on.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this GSS survey where they surveyed 8,000 women and they asked them, how many of you have cheated? About 30% of the women admitted to having cheated in a relationship. And then they surveyed how many previous sexual partners did you have before you got married? And the women who cheated had 230% more sexual partners than the women who did not cheat. And if the correlation had been like a full sigma, which would be 33%, that would be statistically significant. It was 230% more. Now, the problem was when I showed this data, and by the way, just so we're clear, because I want to make sure people understand this, when men have more sexual partners before they're married, they're also more likely to cheat. I don't want to sit there and act like that isn't the truth.
It's just not as big of a range.
Well,
right?
it's harder to measure, and the reason why is because there's two issues. There's men who want to cheat and can, and then there's men who want to cheat and can't. We talk about the sociosexual group of men at the top who are cheating. There's a group of men just below them who wishes they could, but they're the assistant manager at Walmart in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and they don't know, they have no access to anyone to cheat with, and so that's where they get to that point. But anyway, I don't know. The issue was when I showed the GSS study. So initially I would make a statement because I wasn't sure about the study, and I went on other podcasts and I was like, hey, just to let you know, if you have sex with more men before you're married, it's a far less likely, the likelihood of you being happy in a relationship is less. And the Peterson Institute also did a study where if you have more than 20 sexual partners as a woman, you have about a 17% chance of being happy in a relationship. When I use these stats, Greg, they don't get nicer. The people get more angry with me. Even though now I'm not even using my opinion anymore, I'm actually using CDC data. Now they get even more angry. And I don't know if you've seen any sort of response like that.
Well, I know that the more people you have sex with, the more partners you have, the less likely you're going to be able to bond with that person, the less likely you're going to stay with them. I also know that if you actually found out how many women are actually cheating, it's going to be higher because I've dated people and they said, no, I've never cheated. And I'm like, yeah, but you cheated with me. Like you were cheating on your boyfriend with me. And they can't even convince. I'm like, you were with the guy for months after. So they won't even admit that they're cheating. They convince themselves that they're not. And many women don't count. Like, listen to this. They don't count it if they didn't enjoy the sex. Or if it was just a one-night stand, it doesn't count.
Oh,
Or
on this
I
very
was
show,
using
we
a
heard
condom, it didn't count.
crazier things than that.
Greg, we got to have you here
crazy
in
things than
Vegas.
that.
We do a show with like 8 girls, and they'll literally be like, "I don't cheat," and like there are girls on here who I know the guys they've had one night stands with, and they'll come out here and not say that they had one. But that is the difference. Like for everything everything counts for us. There's no point at which there was a girl who didn't count. But often, like I don't believe that a girl who fucks Chris Brown in the backstage of a concert counts that on her body count and tells her husband. I've just never seen that to be the case, and so that's where you do get those numbers to be wrong. But the other
It's
part,
not even like it's a lie. They believe this is the truth.
yeah,
It's not like it's
you
intentional
put,
either.
yeah, if you put
they believe it.
If you put a polygraph on them, they could convince themselves they didn't cheat. I'll tell you one other one, Greg. This one is mind blowing to me. It is women who have threesomes. When women are like invited in with couples for threesomes, it does not. I cannot tell you how many women have told me that doesn't count. It is fucking crazy. It's like it's something that we see often here in Las Vegas. But it's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen because there's three of them, there's no intimacy between her and the guy, therefore it doesn't count. And like you said before, the other one that I love is if I didn't enjoy it, therefore it doesn't count.
If I didn't orgasm, it doesn't count.
That one doesn't count.
It even gets even crazier. Exactly. A lot of girls will give threesomes with guys that they weren't serious about. When it comes to their actual man, they don't want to have a threesome at all. Because of the connection.
Yeah. So this is another topic we talk about on here. It's the girl who's like, she wants to make the guy she's dating wait 3 or 4 dates, but she didn't make the guy in Cancun wait. And she thinks that that's appropriate. I don't mind if a girl wants to make men wait. That's fine. That's your choice. It's that when you make some men wait and other ones, she thinks, well, no, I'm making him wait because I like him more. And from our standpoint as men, it's like, no, you're making him wait because you like him less because you were willing to have sex with that guy earlier. And I think that's one of the ones. And then the other one that I've told women is like, you want to piss your boyfriend off? Tell him this. Tell him you used to have threesomes when you were single, but now that you're in a relationship, you don't do that anymore. That is a great way to watch your boyfriend's reaction when you do that. No, I don't have threesomes because I love you.
So one thing I do right away is if I'm not having sex with a girl by the 4th date, it's not happening. I'm moving on because there's no way that if she's going to like me this much, if she actually is attracted to me, she's no way she's waiting for more than 4 dates to have sex with me because trust me, she's going to meet somebody that's hot enough that she's sleeping with him on the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd date. So that is the general rule. I don't think I've ever gotten to a 4th date and not had sex with anyone in my lifetime. It just doesn't last that long because you want to be the one that, hey, I made everyone else wait, but with you, you're special. I want you now. I can't stop myself because the number one thing when you're looking for a woman is genuine desire. You need to know that girl wants you for you. She has the hots for you. Another thing with threesomes, you need to bring it up on 1st, 2nd, or 3rd date. You can't wait until you guys are together for 6 months and then bring it up because women are going to want to have a threesome with you early on before there's a connection. Another thing, girls are going to say they're into threesomes, they're into anal, they're into sex 3 times a day, and every single girl tells me these things. And then when you go to do it, then it's like, oh. So they're all saying what you want to hear or what they think you want to hear. And these are the girls who are sleeping with 100+ partners. You're like, oh, this girl's a stripper, this girl's a this girl's a that. She's going to be down, but then they're not. Then you meet somebody who you think is completely going to be so innocent, it's not going to do anything. And you find out, wow, this girl is a fiend in bed. This girl is something else. So you can't judge a book by its cover. Just because she's a stripper, she says this or that, doesn't mean she's going to be wild in bed. And the next girl, maybe she's an eye surgeon. This one's a wild freak. You never know.
If you're watching this, I have a gift for you. Hit the link below and I will send you a private invite to my community for free.